जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is 40 or 41? Shloka number? I guess Abhay took 40 shloka. We'll take 41. Yeah? So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, verse number 41. निशम्य शप्तम् अतदर्ह नरेन्द्रम् स ब्राह्मणो नात्मजमभ्यनन्दत् अहो बतां हो महदद्यते कृता अल्पीयसि द्रोह उरुद्रमोद्धृतः निशम्य शप्तम् अतदर्ह नरेन्द्रम् स ब्राह्मणो नात्मजमभ्यनन्दत् अहो बतां भो महद्मध्ये कृतम् अल्पीयसि द्रोह उरुर्दमोद्धृतः निशम्य शप्तम् अतदर्ह नरेन्द्रम् स ब्राह्मणो नात्मजमभ्यनन्दत् अहो बतां हो महमद्यते कृतम् अल्पीयसि द्रोह उरुद्रमोद्धृतः निशम्य शप्तम् अतदर्ह नरेन्द्रम् स ब्राह्मणो नात्मजमभ्यनन्दत् अहो महदद्यते कृतम् अल्पीयसि द्रोह उरुर्दमोदतः So the word-to-word translation. Nishamya, after hearing. Saptam, shaptam, cursed. Atat arham, never to be condemned. Naraindram, unto the king, best of humankind. Saha, that Brahmana, Brahmana, Rishi, Brahman Rishi, Na, not, Atmajam, his own son, Abhyananda, congratulated, Aho, alas, Bata, distressing, Amaha, Alpiyasi, Amaha, sorry, what is this? Amaha or Maha? Amaha, Amaha, sins, Mahat, great, Adya, today, Te, yourself, Kritam, performed, Alpiyasi, insignificant, Drohe, offense, Uruhu, very great, Damaha, punishment, Dhritaha, awarded. So the translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. The father heard from his son that the king had been cursed, although he should never have been condemned, for he was the best amongst all human beings. The rishi did not congratulate his son, but on the contrary began to repent, saying, Alas, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. He has awarded heavy punishment for an insignificant offense. Purport. The king is the best of all human beings. He is representative of God, and he is never to be condemned for any kind of his actions. In other words, king can do no wrong. The king may order hanging of a culprit son of a Brahmana, but he does not become sinful for killing a Brahmana. Even if there is something wrong with the king, he is never to be condemned. A medical practitioner may kill a patient by mistaken treatment, but such a killer is never condemned to death. So, what to speak of a good and pious king like Maharaj Parikshit? In the Vedic way of life, the king is trained to become a Raja Rishi or a great saint, although he is ruling as king. It is a king only by whose good government the citizens can live peacefully and without any fear. The Rajarshis would manage their kingdoms so nicely and piously that their subjects would respect them as if they were the Lord. That is the instruction of the Vedas. The king is called Narendra, or the best among the human beings. How then could a king like Maharaj Parikshit be condemned by an inexperienced, puffed up son of a Brahmana, even though he had attained the powers of a qualified Brahmana? Since Shamik Rishi was an experienced good Brahmana, he did not approve the actions of his condemned son. He began to lament for all that his son had done. The king was beyond the jurisdiction of curses as a general rule, and what to speak of a good king like Maharaj Parikshit? The offense of a king was most insignificant, and his being condemned to death was certainly a very great sin for Shingi. Therefore, Rishi Shamik regretted the whole incident. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Dadati Swapadhantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sahadvaitam Sahavadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamim Iti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Ani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaurattushe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So I seek actually in the morning only I was hearing when some points a lecture by His Holiness Radhana Maharaj. So in that lecture Maharaj was sharing that important qualities of a leaders. Incidentally, it's also matching with the shloka what we are having, the responsibility. The many things you are sharing there. So one of the point he shared is sitting on Vyasasana is not a like very any other chair we sit. Yes, it is very important and very responsible position. Yes. Offering obeisances to Vyasasana means not just offering some namaskar, obeisances to some chair, but also we agree to follow the instructions offered by Vyasadeva. And one who is like sitting on Vyasasana, he is also supposed to repeat the words of Vyasadeva. He is not supposed to present, but he is supposed to represent, representing the words of Vyasadeva, and that with the whole Guru Parampara. It is not his own words he should be presenting. Yes. That way, then before sitting on Vyasasana and speaking on this elevated topics of Bhagavatam, we should be offering prayers, seeking blessings of the great devotees sitting, and with their permission, we should try to speak something which we heard in the parampara from the spiritual masters and other devotees. So, in the same line, as per the instructions of Maharaj, I seek blessings of all the devotees so that I may repeat the words of Guru Parampara and what I have heard from them. So here we see a series of shlokas, a section where Ashringi, the son of a Brahmana, inexperienced, puffed, two adjectives are used for Shringi. He is a son of a Brahmana, that is, you can say, a qualification, but the negative side is the puffed up and also inexperienced. So that created a lot of issues. Yes, like some few shlokas also we get to see earlier also, how Parikshit Maharaj in such a difficult situation, he had come there and asked for water, but somehow he did not get the proper treatment, and he put that dead snake around the neck of Shamik Rishi and just went. Of course, he also felt bad for it. Later on was thinking and repenting for it. And Acharya in the purport, Prabhupada in the purport also explains, this is not something purposefully Parikshit Maharaj did. If you see his background check, Parikshit Maharaj, he never ever behaved something like that, erratic behavior, disrespectful behavior towards the Brahmana class. He was always respectful to them and following their instructions. But here in case of Shringi, without like somebody came up to him when he was taking bath or playing with his playmates in that river, Kaushika river. While playing there, somebody came and told, so and so thing happened with your father. So, without thinking much, he took that decision. The shlokas after shlokas, it comes that actually this is one of the qualification of a responsible person, a leader, that he is representative. A leader is never an independent person. Yeah? Generally, nowadays the thought process has become the Kali Yuga thought process. The leader means now I can do the things the way I want. Here, similarly, something like that. Shringi also felt, now that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has left the planet, and therefore such kings have corrupted the whole thing, and there is need of somebody who can control them. So he thought, nobody else is there, I will do it. Like Abhayguntu very nicely told, Kanun haath mein nahi lena chahiye. So here, if you see the personal application for this, that when we also like sometimes get some post position, we may also exhibit similar kind of behavior like a Shringi, if you forget our vertical connections. Yeah. What we see, it was 1990s, those days, ISKCON Chowpatty, the Chowpatty temple was not in ISKCON. So they wanted to So for that, Maharaj is thinking to go back to ISKCON once again, connect. So there, Maharaj called all the devotees. Those time they were connected. All devotees around 70, 80, 85 devotees around were there, and they are having meeting with Maharaj what to do. And everyone was suggesting everything is happening very nicely. We have the deities, we have devotees, we have Prabhupada books, and we are doing Sankirtan, preaching is happening. So everything is happening so nicely. So what is the need of going back to ISKCON again? The Maharaj heard from all, and then he told, if you ask me, there is a need, we should be going back to ISKCON, because I also need somebody above me. Yes. For now, all of you, the topmost person is, I am only there. Yes. But I also need somebody above me. So I also need the association of my God brothers, the senior God brothers. Yeah. So like practically after Srila Prabhupada left, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was the as good as representing Prabhupada directly for all the people, all the devotees. So all kind of managerial decisions and many other decisions he was taking. When it was asked to him also, how you are taking decisions? He told, I don't take decisions independently. I also have some God brothers with whom I cross-check and then I take. Yes. So not forgetting the vertical connections. Vertical connections. Even if the superiors, the spiritual master is not around, but that doesn't mean we take the decisions independently. Here also in case of Shringi, he thought Lord Krishna is not there, so maybe I have to take the decisions. But your father is there. Ascenic father is not there, your father is there. Before taking the decision, at least you should cross-check with your father. Father, so and so thing happened, the king insulted you. So what do you think? What can be done? So if you want, I can do something for you. If you don't want to do, I will do something. But you should please at least say. Yes. So he never cross-checked. He thought, maybe I will do it myself. Taking things in his own hand. Yes. And that creates the, like it is said that to the degree the person has received that higher position, to that degree, either he can do great benefit to the whole public, all people, or he can do great damage. Both things are in his hand, because that power is there, power is offered. So very carefully the person has to analyze before taking the decision. Yes. So Prabhupada also, he thought like in Kali Yuga, the collective unity is more powerful than the individual purity. Yeah, that's what we see in the ISKCON also. Srila Prabhupada never made a single person as a leader. He made that collective leadership, very important thing, collective leadership. He formed these GBCs in 1970s. Yeah, he saw the situation, what happened to the Gaudiya Math. Even though the Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told we should have that GBC formation, but somehow he could not. But Prabhupada established. Yeah. And we see that's how the ISKCON so nicely developed in India. Yeah. Since 1970s, devotees took it very seriously. And the leadership, the powerful leadership in the ISKCON India, like what we see His Holiness Jayapata Goswami Maharaj, or His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, or His Holiness Lokanath Swami Maharaj, or His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and many others around. So 1970s, those days, since those days, almost like more than 53 years plus, they have been in India and so nicely leading the devotees. There have been so many ups and downs in terms of issues coming from outside world, attacks happening from outside world to ISKCON, or sometimes some kind of disruptions within the society itself. But if you can learn from them how they took the decisions, yeah. Even though they themselves are having thousands of disciples down, but to take some important managerial decisions, they always consent. If you hear their lectures, every time they quote Srila Prabhupada. Their lectures don't end without quoting Srila Prabhupada. Every time quoting Srila Prabhupada, that Prabhupada wanted this, Prabhupada told me like this, and do this, do that. Yes. Every time they so much focused on the instructions offered by the spiritual masters. Yeah, what we see, leaders are not independent, but they are independently thoughtful. Like Srila Prabhupada himself, he got those instructions, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur never told him that how to develop those instructions. Yeah, like what happened in one of the village long back. One of the guru happened to visit and gave some lectures, initiated some disciples. So in that, while leaving the village, he gave some seeds to two of his disciples. He told, kindly preserve them very nicely. And like that he's saying, the guru left. Those days, the sannyasis used to keep traveling from place to place. They are not staying at particular location. So he left. So almost after 10, 12 years, he happened to once again visit in his tour the same village. And then he, after coming there, the devotees, the disciples became very happy, celebrated his arrival, the reception. And then he met again these two disciples. They're there. And asked them, I had given you those seeds, what you had done with those seeds? So one disciple brought a red cloth. In that he had kept that seeds. And he brought it in front of the Guru Maharaj and told, Guru Maharaj, whatever seeds you have given, I had kept them in a red cloth and kept in the altar. Every day I was worshipping them. Very nicely preserved. And now, right in front of you, I am opening it. So he opened it. And the whole thing has become a powder. All the insects have eaten the seeds. And it has become kind of powder. The seeds were not there. So, okay, then another disciple he called, what happened to your seeds? He told Guru Maharaj, you please come, I'll show you what happened to seeds. So then he took his spiritual master to his farm, and then he showed a whole land filled with so many fruit trees. He said, Guru Maharaj, here are your seeds. But those seeds, what he did, he planted, and out of those few seeds, now he cultivated a huge land and filled with so many flowers and these fruit trees. So this is called independently thoughtful. Able to understand? Like in case of Srila Prabhupada also, he also received these two seeds. One seed was to preach in the Western countries in English language, and second was, whenever you get the money, print books. And Prabhupada established two separate organizations, institutions for this. So this is called independently thoughtful. Not independent. What is the difference between these two? Independent and independently thoughtful. Independent thoughtful means whatever instruction is there, he accepted the instructions and now he is thinking how I can fulfill those instructions. That is called independently thoughtful. Independent means now he is thinking whether to fulfill those instructions or not. That is independent personality. Yes. What we see even the His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj developing the whole Govardhan Eco Village. So those days of 1972-73, they have received the instructions in the New Vrindavan, New Jersey, of developing Vrindavan there. Yes. So since those days he was trying. Same case of Srila Prabhupada, he also received the instructions of 1922. But when he could fulfill those instructions, 1966, almost like 44 years later. But what did he do in that 44 years? A lifetime in preparation. A lifetime. We have chapters, like a lifetime in preparations. He was not just forgot those instructions and remembered those instructions in 1965-66 and started executing it. No. Right from the day when he received the instructions, immediately he could not fulfill those instructions. He shares that if only I was not married, I would have joined the movement right away. He was not in position to fulfill the instructions right then, but that doesn't mean he forgot. He was constantly watering those instructions, like this disciple cultivated a whole land out of those seeds. So he was what we can see that miracle what Srila Prabhupada did from 1965 to 1977, that 10-12 years. It is not that 10-12 years. That was a performance time. But preparation time was 1922 up to 1965. That is a preparation period. Yes. So that's the important point of leadership. Sometimes in name of independently thoughtful person may become completely deviant itself. Yeah. Like many times in our own like institute also we get to see somebody thought to make it more secularism and convert the names of devotees into English, like pastime potency Mataji. Leela Shakti Mataji name, they thought we'll keep some English names, converting the Prabhupada gave the name that Leela Shakti Mataji, but different names. So that may create a huge havoc in the situation. We can change the details, but not the principle itself. Yes, only Acharya can change the principles or adjust the principles. Yeah? Even while changing the principle, any normal person cannot change. We need somebody who is very, very mature, experienced person who can change even details also. For us, at our stage, very difficult to understand what is principle, what is details. Yeah. So better every time we should cross-check. Should I be doing this or should I be not doing it? Yeah. Like in case of Shringi, he should at least checked once with his father. Prabhu, my dear father, so and so thing has done. What do you think? Kya karna chahiye? Kya nahi karna chahiye? Yes. So that is the point. So today is also the Gundicha Marjan, very special day. So incidentally, this is also connected with Gundicha Marjan in terms of the leadership. Apani Achari Prabhu Jivere Sikhaya. Like Lord Chaitanya himself is teaching the world. As Lord Krishna, he came, gave principles, gave his teachings, but people are not knowing how to follow it. So Lord himself is coming and teaching how to do it. So I'll take some shlokas from Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are here? Okay. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Prathama Sei Kashi Mishre Prabhu Bolaila, Padicha Patra Sarvabhauma Bolana Anila. So this is one of the day in the Jagannath Puri. This is just 2 days before the Rath Yatra, or 1 day before the Rath Yatra. The planning is happening 2 days before the Rath Yatra. So there, Lord Chaitanya, he decides that now Lord is going to go from the main temple, Shri temple, to the Gundicha temple. So we need to clean that temple. So he get the thought we should be cleaning it. So this is a quality of leader that even if he has some thought process, he will cross-check, consult with his team. Yeah, like Srila Prabhupada also created this collective leadership, but this is not like the government. Government also, you may say, the collective leadership. Is it the GBC like that? No, it is not like that. But government, like, we don't know whom to catch. Like, it's kind of complete Brahman. But in case of GBCs, they also have their executive committee, an executive head. He is responsible for whatever the rules or the decisions which are sanctioned in the GBC meetings. Particular team is there, they execute it. They have the responsibility to make sure that execution, communication properly happens. So here in case of Lord Chaitanya, now everyone knows he is a sannyasi, and the king, Prataprudra Maharaj, having like direct instructions to all the people, and he is also a follower of Lord Chaitanya. Now who will deny the instructions of Lord Chaitanya? Whatever decision he has made, people will easily, happily follow. But as a leader, he is cross-checking. Now he is calling who all? Three people he is calling. He is Kashi Mishra, the superintendent of temple, the Padicha, Patra, and also Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya he is calling. And in front of them, now he'll present his opinion. So, what he's sharing is, तीन जन पाशे प्रभो हासिया कहिला गुंडीचा मंदिर मार्जन सेवा मागिनीला. Now he is taking permission from all these people. Now he is not required for him, but still he is calling them and taking permission from them. And now actually as a leader he could have informed them. But instead of informing, he is asking. These are two different things. Actually, these are very subtle aspects. As a leader, using his position, he should have directly commanded them, like directly demanded them, you do this, you do that, aisa karo, aisa bol diya hota. And they would have followed also. But instead of directly saying that, he is telling, he's kind of asking permission that can I do this service? Can we all do this service? He's kind of requesting. That gives invokes more surrender from the subordinates. Yeah? They also feel a kind of valued. My position is valued, recognized. And as a result also we get to see ahead how the down people, they respond. What they are saying, the Padicha says, the Padicha kahe ami shab sevak tomar ये तुम्हारी इच्छा से ही कर्तव्य हमार. So leader is the one who doesn't demand but he commands the respect. These two different things. Yes. So on internet also you'll get to see very nice videos are there on leaders and boss. The YouTube videos. Many places you will find many videos are there. Many people have made it. Difference between boss and a leader. The leader says, let us do it. But the boss says, you people do it. Yeah. So here, when, in case of Dhruva Maharaj also, what we can see is the two leaders, Suniti and Suruchi. By Suruchi, what he did, by her own behavior, she brought out the worst out of Dhruva, that revengeful attitude. But Suniti, by her own good behavior, brought the best out of Dhruva. The surrender, going close to Supreme Lord Vishnu, worshipping the Supreme Lord. Yeah, very first thing she is sharing, don't be enemies of others, not good. And what you want, you are looking for, that is possible if you worship Lord Vishnu. He will fulfill your desires. Yes. So like that, here, Lord Chaitanya, by his own behavior, now he is asking permission, and now the disciple, the subordinates, he is telling, now whatever you desire, that is the duty for me. Yes. Say tomari ichha, say kartavya amar, that's a duty for me. Yeah. Otherwise, it happens sometimes, like we call somebody and directly tell, Prabhu, tomorrow evening is the so and so program, and prepare for a feast. Directly informed, kind of ad hoc for the kitchen in charge also. Then he says, Prabhu, but already one cook is down with the health. His health is not good, and already her count is big, and two cooks cannot manage. So okay, give some volunteers. But no, Prabhu, the devotees exams are also coming close, so they are busy with the studies. They cannot, nobody can come for volunteers. Okay, maybe you can only help, but Prabhuji, but who will go for sabji purchasing? We have to go for purchasing also. Acha, take a bike, go for purchasing. Prabhu, bike ka petrol khatam ho gaya. Now, instead, you have to understand, instead of giving, supporting, now he is giving arguments. Ki ye kaise nahi ho sakta. So, but instead of like demanding, if leader commands, kind of like requesting, is it possible? Ho sakta hai kya? So then, that invokes kind of a different emotion from the subordinate also. We are kind of involving that person into the service. You are not just one of the person who are supposed to follow, but you also are involved into the decision makings. So he will be happy to help. Now here Padicha enthusiastically serves. He not just saying, okay, आपको सेवा करना है, You want to clean Gundicha Mahajan? Okay, go and do it. He is not saying like that. Now ahead, I'll take some few shlokas. We will not able to cover all the shlokas. 77. He says, Kintu घट सम्मार्जनी बहुत चाहिए, आज्ञा देह आज सब इहानी दिए. Now he is just not telling Mahaprabhu, if you want to do it, you just do it. But now he is using his intelligence and telling, oh, you want to do cleaning? Then you will need lot of water pots also, you will need lot of margini, the brooms also. You don't worry, I will get all of them and bring it here for you. Now he is putting his intelligence also into the service. Yes. Then he brought so many hundreds and hundreds of water pots, 78 shloka. He brought so many water pots and also brought so many margini, the brooms. Then on the day of Gundicha Marjan, today, what Lord Chaitanya did, 79, Aradine prabhate lay nijagana Shri haste sabarane ange lepila chandana. The next, Shri haste dila sabare ek marjani sabagana lay prabhu chalila pani. So before awarding service, you need to take care of whether the required skill set, required instruments, they are also there available for the service. Yeah, like in case of Brahmaji told Manu, Swayambhu Manu, he also go and do and help me in populating this world. But he told, where is the land where I can reside? Then Brahmaji, sorry, land is only not there. Then he took that tension of bringing that land back. Yeah. So leader, before giving service, you need to take care of this, both the things. The required facility, instruments are provided, and also the required skill set is also provided. It is not like, oh, go and open a new center, but don't know what we mean by that. A simple thing of like you tell somebody, you go and arrange some program. He also enthusiastically goes ahead and directly calls the boys. But here a setup is not done, the kitchen is not informed, cleanliness is not done, and then things are just haphazardly lying there. But he don't know. So whose problem is this? The leader. He is supposed to offer the first training. Before expecting some service, we should be offering the proper service. After giving training, we can expect something. Yes? So here Mahaprabhu himself already arranged for required instruments, and now himself is leading all the devotees for Gundicha Marjan. So ahead, says the 81st, 81. Gundicha mandire gela karite marjan, prathame marjani lay karila shodhan. Yes, leader leading from the front. Bhitare mandira upare sakala majila, sinhasane maji punah sthapana karila. So the Lord cleansed everything inside the temple very nicely, including the ceilings. He then took up the sitting places, the sinhasan, cleansed it and again put it in its original place. So this shows any service should be done very systematically, yeah, not haphazardly, very systematically, professionally we say. Along with devotion, we should be adding profession also. The professional we say, like something like what we have DT department. So amazing Prabhuji has done. So standardized. Even new person also gets in, he understands where are the peacock feathers, where are the dresses kept, so nicely labeled all the lockers, and all the cloths also labeled like the table cleaning cloth or maybe down cloth, and the standard process of like Abhishek means these are the things should be done, and wake up means these are the standard procedures should be done. So this is called a systematic service performed. Yes, like that. The cleaning also here Mahaprabhu is telling, so systematically done. The first ceilings are cleaned, then the sinhasanas, and then outside area. So that is required. Yes. Then come to 85. Premollasa shodhen layen Krishna naam. Bhaktagana Krishna kahe kare nij kaam. This is one of the important thing. While doing service, how the service should be done. It is said that haath mein kaam or muh mein naam. So holy name should be always there in the background. Yeah. Like what we see in that simple temple video, there also we see those old days. Of course, now also it happens. The Matajis are there outside, sitting outside the kitchen, cutting sabjis, maybe rolling puris, and they are singing very loudly. They sing some particular tune with Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And inside the kitchen, the Prabhus, they are cooking. Yeah, I guess those days the concept of bringing cooks, that was not there. Our devotees only used to cook. And while cooking, frying puris and cooking sabjis, the Prabhujis are singing another different tune of Hare Krishna. But very nicely, and all are observed while doing services, the background is always of the kirtan. Yeah. So once His Adi Gopal was sharing that in old days, those days in Kunjabihari temple also, some Matajis thought while doing garland making, we will also sing. The singing should happen. But they requested Prabhuji that, Prabhu, we don't know how to sing. Maybe can you put some tape recorded? That tape recorder will go in the background and we'll try to repeat behind. So they initially started keeping that tape recorder. But later on, somehow that tape recorder did not work or something happened, manager did not give. So then while doing the garland seva, all kind of the thing started. The other talks and so many kind of talks started, and then soon lot of issues, lot of problems, complaints the manager was receiving. The manager's head was reeling, what to do with this? So very important, while doing services, the background of Harinam also should go on. Yes. And here the word used is Premollasa Shodhen. The service should be done with enthusiasm. It is said that enthusiasm and sincerity is more important in Krishna consciousness than skills and intelligence. Yeah? Many more people are there. His Holiness Radhanath Samaraj who says, we don't want maybe intelligent or intellectual class of people, but we want those who are willing. Those who are willing will get proper required skill set also, proper required intelligence also, and will do the service. But sometimes we get to see some intellectual class of people, they'll give reasons. Ye nahi hai, wo nahi hai, aisa nahi, waisa nahi. They will do, instead of service, they will do more fault finding only. Yeah, enthusiasm. What we see in the case of Lord Ram's army also. The monkeys, hardly any kind of skill sets or the instruments they had. But only what was how they could win the whole war? They had this enthusiasm and sincerity, the premollas. They're so enthusiastic in fighting. Whatever the rocks, the trees, or the mountain peaks, whatever they got in their hand, they used to just throw and kill. Yes? So, premollas, the enthusiasm in services is very, very important. Yeah? Somehow the Kali Yuga, okay, just 2-3 minutes. The Kali Yuga mentality is how to do things very short time with minimum energy and get the results. But that is not the case. Here, the next shloka only, the 86. धूली धूसर तनु देखिते शोधन कहाँ कहाँ अश्रु जले करे समार्जन. So here Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is kind of indirectly saying how they are doing hard work. Yes, there is no shortcut to like a success. Hard work is very, very important for success anywhere. Like what you see in competitive exams also, when boys they study, whole day and night. Many times in the night time, they whole night out also they do. Keep drinking tea and keep studying. Keep drinking tea and keep studying. Yes, there is no shortcut to the success. Yeah, hard work is very very important, and it should be done. Yeah, like. But in Kali Yuga, the cutting corners, shortcuts are very much encouraged also and appreciated also. But that is not the case. Yeah? And this special pastime of Guddicha Marjan indicates the cleansing of heart also. Not just cleaning the temple, but cleansing the heart also. And the anarthas in the heart are just like very sludge, not just some dust, but from so many years, like what we see. If you want to see the example of a sludge, you can see maybe any kitchen exhaust fan. Kitchen exhaust fan. What happens because of that choke, oil comes out and that settles on the blades of this fan, and dust. The dust and oil get mixed, and because itna chikkat, it becomes very difficult. Even if you put a soap and scrub it, itna आसानी से नहीं निकलता. It's a huge project itself to clean. So generally once a semester, once a year we clean that. So the anarthas in the heart also very chipka, very chikkat. So to clean that, a lot of hard efforts, the endeavors are required. It will not go so easily. So special efforts are required. Very hard endeavors are required. So we should not be afraid to put the hard endeavors. Yeah, we should not be looking for the shortcuts. Otherwise, the Kali Yuga mentality of looking for shortcuts, cutting corners, putting minimum energy. By this, actually, we will lose this amazing, the precious jewel of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, we should not be afraid while putting endeavors. So like that the pastime goes ahead, a big pastime. Maybe in the afternoon or so, evening, when your devotees get free time, they can hear the lectures and maybe read this section. Madhya Leela, 12th chapter, 72 onwards it begins. Goes to long time. Around 135 it goes. Shloka number 135, the pastime. And the next day is Jagannath Rath Yatra. We have tomorrow also. The special class by His Grace Balbhadran Prabhu, he will be giving it. Hare Krishna. So what we discussed is the qualities of leader. And a leader can do a great benefit also to the society and also great damage also. Here the Shringi, purport after Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada is telling how Shringi became that first person who became the cause for the downfall of the Brahmanical culture. Yes, purport after purport, the Prabhupada is repeating it. So we also offer prayers to the devotees feet of Sri Srinitai Gaur Chandra Srila Prabhupada, that we may not become the representatives of Kali and damage ourselves and others also, but better we become the representatives of Srila Prabhupada and get benefit ourselves and also benefit the people around us. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.